How was the domestic box office this weekend? Snow White was the #1 movie at the domestic box office, bringing in $43 million, which sounds good, but $43 million opening weekend is actually a big flop for Disney, since the movie cost an estimated $270 million to make and would probably need around $600 million just to break even. Snow White might be the flop of the year, but are we that surprised? With all those poor reviews and controversy surrounding the movie? Snow White's domestic opening weekend is less than Little Mermaids and Cinderellas, which was kind of expected anyway. But Snow White's opening weekend is even less than Dumbo's domestic opening weekend. Now that's saying something, when Dumbo's $45 million domestic opening weekend beats Snow White. However, Snow White's opening weekend is higher than Mufasa's $35 million opening weekend, and Mufasa turned out to have great staying power despite a weak opening weekend. Mufasa's pulled in $717 million globally right now, so maybe Snow White has a chance to be a success. I doubt it though. At this rate, Snow White might make less than Dumbo by the end of its run. How was the global box office this weekend? Snow White takes the #1 spot at the global box office, bringing in a total of $87.3 million worldwide opening weekend, with Ne Zha 2 holding on to the second spot and Mickey 17 taking the third spot with $12 million. How's Captain America Brave New World doing? Captain America Brave New World is slowly looking like it will most likely be a small loss for Disney. Captain America Brave New World grossed an estimated $4.1 million domestically and $3.1 million internationally this weekend. The total domestic gross for Captain America is estimated at $192.1 million, and the total global gross is $400.8 million. The movie needed around an estimated $425 million just to break even, which is looking less and less likely every week that goes by. Captain America Brave New World has showed that you need an event-level MCU movie like Avengers to succeed at the box office. Otherwise, people would just wait to stream it on Disney+. We will see with Thunderbolts coming out later this year if it can succeed without being an event-level MCU movie. Ne Zha 2 is on its 8th weekend and has been continuing its downtrend in China. Ne Zha 2 brought in $11.83 million in its 8th weekend from China, which is still pretty good. The total gross outside of China is now at $51.7 million, with $20.5 million coming from North America, which isn't too bad for a Chinese cartoon with subtitles. Ne Zha 2 has also been doing very well in the Malaysian market, bringing in $6.8 million so far. Ne Zha 2 is also doing well in the Hong Kong market, bringing in $7.1 million. The global total for Ne Zha 2 is at $2.1 billion and has officially taken the #5 spot on the highest grossing movies of all time list, beating Star Wars The Force Awakens. But will probably not be able to catch up to Titanic, which is at the #4 spot. Titanic grossed $2.2 billion by the end of its run. Even though Ne Zha 2 cannot catch up to Titanic, it's still a huge accomplishment for Ne Zha 2, and it's the first Chinese movie to make it on the list of highest grossing movies of all time. It's already the highest grossing animated film of all time. Even though Snow White took #1 at the global box office, it is still projected to be a big loss for Disney. But it might hold the #1 spot again next week, until maybe Minecraft dethrones it in April. What movies do you guys think will be at the top of the global box office next week? Let me know in the comments.
I think it's time for Snow White tonight to have a little talk.